Unsportsmanlike conduct with Kevin Kugler and Michael Severe.
All the looks, brains, money in the world can't buy it.
1620 The Zone at 1620thezone.com.
Bill Callahan proving once and for all that he's the man to lead the Huskers to a national championship.
Good time.
Bill Callahan.
Jets. Jets. That spells Jets.
Bill Callahan.
This is 2007 Bowl Game Callahan. That's right. I don't exist. Husker fan.
Bill Callahan.
Be in a position to win championships again. And we will do that. And we will do that with Bill Callahan as the head football coach.
Bill Callahan.
Remember when I was coaching in the Super Bowl? Husker fan.
Bill Callahan.
What's the fastest way out of Lincoln? Husker fan.
It is time once again for Bill in New York to make his regular appearance on this program, update us on the National Football League from the former head coach of the Huskers. I will say, though, from our good friend Kyle Peterson via the email, Kevin at 1620thezone.com in our Brewski's inbox, he has sent Michael Severe pictures of sad Mets fans and a sad Met mascot. That seems a little bit, lacking. I mean, for a guy of the stature of Kyle Peterson. Your thoughts?
Well, I'll just say, Milwaukee as a city pretty much sucks. So, I mean, honestly, if you had to choose to live, wouldn't you live in Omaha over Milwaukee? I know Kyle did. That's why Elkhorn was annexed.
There you go. Thank you very much. Bill in New York is our guest joining us here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Coach, speaking of collapses in baseball, we know about your fandom, your love for the Chicago White Sox. So what's going on right now?
Chris, we feel real good about where we're at as a baseball team. Ozzie Gillen, he's terrific. And, he's done an excellent job in every area. And, the Twins, the look-alikes, they're putting the heat on us a little bit. We're a good baseball team. And, I think we got everything in front of us. All our goals are still attainable. And, everything's still laid out for us. And, it's funny you bring up the White Sox. Actually, I tried to call Joey Gannon a couple of weeks ago, just to have some fun with him, with him being a Cubs fan and everything. And, he's just such a funny guy. As soon as I start to talk, he hangs up. And, tell me funny things like, please stop calling. You never gave me a chance. He's always been a funny guy. And, we wish the Cubs the best of luck, and the White Sox the best of luck. And it would be tremendous if they both made the World Series. I'd love to go with Joey Gann. I've got 2 tickets, but I've already promised one of those to Sam Keller.
Coach, you have some experience with being fired. Did you you have a chance to call Matt Millen by any chance and make him feel a little bit better about losing his job?
Well, I haven't called him. I've got too much on my football plate for this football mind to call another football coach or a former football player. And, Matt Miller's going to land on his own 2 feet, just like I landed on my own 2 genius feet. And, it's tough, whenever you're fired, let go, to see things kind of unravel on you, even though it's not your fault. And I can relate to that.
Bill in New York, our guest here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. We talk about that White Sox collapse. The Jets looked horrible last weekend once again. Of course, we know what happened here in Nebraska. Do you feel like everything that you care about just sort of falls apart?
Once again, you're kind of irritating this football coach. And, let me just say this, Chris. It was a frustrating football game out in San Diego. It's Spanish for whale vagina. And, as an offense, we did the best we could as a football team. Thomas Jones busted off a long run of 8 yards. So that's about as good as you can hope for from a football team. We scored 29 points. Anytime you score that many, you should win all the time. And, for a rare occasion when you're playing a bowl and your players are trying to throw the game. But, it was a frustrating day in San Diego. And, aside from, getting to go to In-N-Out Burger a couple of times, it was purely frustrating. And, we just need to get better. Block better, tackle better, run better, catch better, pass better. We just need to get better. We have a lot to change, rectify, adjust, and hopefully we can do that.
Coach, if you set aside some time on Saturday night to sit down and watch the Huskers play against Virginia Tech?
Well, unfortunately, Markle, I won't be able to see that football game. It's not a big enough game for New York. And, we're getting Penn State and Illinois. And, that should be a real good football game. But, let me just say, Nebraska needs to show well in that football game. The past 4 years, they did nothing but succeed on national television. And, except for a couple of hiccups here and there and here and there and every now and then and every so often. But, it should be an interesting football game. Bo Paladin has a lot to prove. And, from what I'm reading, they're undefeated. But there's a lot of skepticism about just how good they are. And if they can't get it done this week, if they can't win or come out on top, his supervisor might just pull the plug.
Bill in New York is our guest. The big national story this week, Coach, has been the talk of this whole federal bailout of the government, $700 billion. You've got a lot of experience in the buyout or bailout category. Any thoughts on this whole bailout going on?
Well, I do read up a lot on that, in my favorite newspaper, the New York Times. And, buyouts aren't necessarily bad. They protect you against bank failure, or team failure. And, a collapse in the mortgage market or in the talent market. And, whether it's because people can't handle the financial pressure, or your players can't handle the game pressure. And, young people who thought they could afford a house, or young men who thought they could afford to take a playoff or a game off. And, insurance is great, and that's what this government is providing. And I got about 4 million reasons why the buyout is the best solution. But, you just got to come together across the aisle. I remember Mr. Peterson, he said to me, he didn't believe in buyouts when we did our contract. He could have fooled me. This has been terrific, but, I can never repay him. I could probably give him $50 a day for the rest of my life and not even come close. But just a terrific situation for everyone, one that the United States of America needs to embrace.
Coach, you bring up Mr. Peterson. His Pitt team's playing pretty well. They win another game over Iowa. Did you have a chance to talk to him about that big win?
We trade emails every now and then. And, it took a few times, but he finally did accept my Facebook request. And, I always check on his MySpace as well. Today, he seemed tolerable. And, he had a smiley emoticon, on his page. And, it's just tremendous. He sends me on Facebook pieces of flair. And, we just get along so well. And he's just terrific. We haven't spoken personally, on the telephone. Going on about 10 months now. But he's just a terrific guy. Like I said, I owe him a lot of debt of gratitude. And his football team's doing real well, and they had a good football game against Iowa.
I had no idea you were on Facebook, Coach. If I were to friend you, could we be friends on Facebook as well?
Well, I'm not sure about that. And, it might be difficult to find. There are a lot of Bill Callahans on there. But let me just say this. The one with the big N with the circle around it, the X through it is me. Just send it my way.
Bill in New York. Coach, a pleasure as always to have you on the program. We really appreciate you taking time. Good luck this weekend to avoid going 1-3.
Well, thanks so much. You sound real optimistic there. And I was just watching that magician last night out in Central Park in the Big Apple, doing his trick. And,
right.
He hung upside down for about 60 hours. So that didn't seem like too big a deal. This is embarrassing, but I got to tell you, last year I had swirlies that lasted longer than that. But then he got up on that pedestal and jumped down only to be hoisted into the sky. David Blaney. It was pathetic. There was so much hype, so much talk about how good it was going to be and how he was going to do, and he was going to take what he wanted. And then he just disappeared without answering his critics. It was just a big letdown, a big disappointment. You don't need that in magic or life in general.
Bill in New York. Yeah, that disappearing without answering to your critics, I could see that would bristle you. Bill, appreciate your time. We'll talk with you next week.
Yeah, I got to run, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Bill in New York, our guest on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Quick break. Courtman, Pro Football Weekly, Fantasy Football Fixin' next on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.